What's good, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Cheap Sense here. And I just wanted to talk briefly about a subject that came up. And I don't know why people get butthurt when it comes to certain fragrance houses or clone houses or whatever you want to call them. It's ridiculous to me that people just can't have an opinion and just let it be that. They have to get beside themselves and talk trash and trash companies and trash people who own companies and stuff like that, the makers and all of that. But for the most part, this is going to be about the house of Dua. And Dua gets a bad rap for, well, for one, they get a bad rap because of the size bottles that they sell. And the bottles are these 30, I got it backwards for a reason, but these 30 ml bottles are what you're getting for about 60 to maybe 65 bucks. And I agree that for what you are getting milliliter wise is not worth the purchase, because you can get 100 ml or 50 ml of something and pay way less. But I will say that the performance off of my skin, which is the only person I can speak for, I can't speak for this person or that person when they give their experience and say that this house sucks or the performance isn't all that. For me, I got great performance out of all four of these fragrances I have right here in front of me. I have others in decants, but I didn't feel like digging those out, so I just went with what I have here. I have no issue with the performance. These fragrances are, I want to say, extrait de parfum. And I get excellent performance out of these off of my skin. So much so that sometimes I think these fragrances are a little bit too powerful, or it could just be that I spray one too many sprays. I like Dua. I don't like the prices. I don't like the milliliter that you're getting for the prices. Maybe if they lowered the price to maybe 30, 35, 25 maybe. But then you will start lacking in quality, because when they drop the prices, of course, they're going to go with lesser quality ingredients. And I like Dua. And despite what other people may say about the house of Dua, which is their personal opinion, I don't think that we as reviewers should be trying to force our opinions on other people. Let them decide for themselves whether they like something or not. It's just not because Mr. Cheap Sense says that I don't like such and so that you shouldn't go out and get it. I think you, the subscribers, and other reviewers, because I know other reviewers watch our channels also, should go out, order samples if you can find some. Maybe go into some of these fragrance groups and get you some decants. Test this stuff out before you go and fork out that kind of money. Most of the time, people get butt hurt by it because they go out and they spend this money for these fragrances. Somebody probably went out and spent $60, $65 or whatever it is for one of these, and it didn't perform for them, or it didn't smell like they thought it was going to smell, and they felt burned by it. Just because you got burned doesn't mean somebody else is going to get burnt. One of the fragrances that I highly recommend is Casino Royal Nights. And yes, I do kind of get Baccarat Rouge 540. It's not as superly sweet as 540, but this got me a lot of compliments when I wore it to the hospital. I can vouch for this one personally from my own experience off of this skin, that this performed for me and the women were loving it. Now, if you are somebody who walks around me mugging all day and you're not approachable, of course you're not going to get compliments. Of course people are not going to approach you because of how you are, your demeanor, your aura, your energy. People pick up on that kind of stuff, especially females. So before you go and start clowning or downing these companies, Let people make these decisions for themselves. Just because you had a bad experience doesn't mean that you have to ruin the experience for everybody else. Also, desire to. Not totally sure what this is a clone of, but this is beast mode off of my skin. The sweetness in this is far superior as far as the level of sweetness as this is. This is super sweet, but I like the fact that it lasts on my skin. I don't have to go 7 sprays like I normally do. I can do 2 or 3 sprays of this and get away with it and not have to reapply. But that's just me. Certain fragrances, you will notice that if I do my reviews, I only say I get 4.5, 5.5 hours out of. Off of this dry skin of mine, that's all I get. So anytime I have a fragrance that I know lasts longer than that, of course I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. I'm going to hype it up a little bit more because for me, it's well worth it to let people know what I got out of it. Another one that is not bad is Aqua Bravata, but I will say that for me, as an aquatic fragrance, this one is slightly a little bit too powdery for me in the opening. But the dry down on this is superb. So if you can get through that slightly powdery kind of opening, I think you'll be satisfied with this. I'm not sure what this is inspired by, but whatever the case may be, I like this one a lot also. And my least favorite, but I have worn it, smells good, has chocolate. I think it's like lemon or orange or something. I think it's lemon. This is Boys Presilks Pisces or something like that. I don't know. But kind of hard to say the name for me, but I like this fragrance. If you like chocolate, if you like lemon, you love this. And this performs off of my skin. So before you jump out there and start telling people that Dua sucks and all of this, yeah, it may suck to you, but there is a whole lot of people that think Dua is a great fragrance house, and they're going to overlook the minority of people who think otherwise. So in some cases, your opinion ain't going to matter anyway. People still going to buy Dua. They still going to enjoy Dua. And just because you don't enjoy Dua doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to. So that's all I have to say about that, y'all. The House of Dua is not a bad house. They have a lot to offer clone-wise, or I think they do have some originals. I could be mistaken, but either way, I like Dua, and I think you should at least give them a try. If they can get you some samples, at least order some samples, test them out first, and then you jump out there and get it if you choose to. There are people I see with bottles and bottles and bottles of Dua stuff. So with that being said, y'all, we have to be careful what we say as reviewers. We have the power to persuade people to buy or not to buy things. And I'm more mindful now of what I say in reviews when it comes to talking about fragrances and whether I like something or I don't like something. Of course, I'm going to tell the truth. If something doesn't smell good to me, it doesn't smell good. But just because I say it doesn't smell good doesn't mean the next person isn't going to love it. We don't all have the same taste. So for people to sit there and say that it sucks or it stinks or whatever, that doesn't mean that the next person is going to say that it stinks. So you have to be mindful of that. So I'm out of here, y'all. Not going to dwell on this too much. Sometimes people can be a little bit too into what's going on in FragCom and a little bit too sentimental when it comes to things and have to relax. So here is 2 Smelling Great. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.